Zibofu. Zibofu. Zibofu.
Hayibo, lona uyayivumela. Lona uyayivumela. Ngithi shano wena. Shano wena. Hayibo. Wemkhathazo ngangishema sesigodu kamfowethu. Ungangishima sesigodu kamfowethu.
Thank you, Ikusasa Letu, for that very warm Very, very energetic KwaZulu welcome. Welcome to the 23rd Poetry Africa by the University of KwaZulu-Natal Center for Creative Arts. My name is Chipo Jo, a member of the Center for Creative Arts team and your host for the evening. Please, let's give our entertainment another round of applause. We have our prelude poet who will be opening up the stage for our giants tonight. And he's a talented young poet, Cruz Kulekani Ndwandwe from Tuntuzuma. Please give him a warm welcome to Poetry Africa 2019.
Sanbonan. Ninjan. Gikhona nami. All right. Njengobusiswa meseshilo khulekani wandwanda isibongo sentuzuma. And firstly, I have to thank you the opportunity to be here, to be sharing here. It's something very important to me to find myself in this space like this. Thank you so much to anyone who contributed to have my name here. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I didn't make it to the political game. I found gambling too addictive. I wouldn't play toxic game deliberately delivering deceiving lip service, selling pipe dreams on broad daylight, enslaving capitalism market, devalued in monetary system. I'm sorry, I can't hide myself behind labels. Forgive my distastefulness in fashion. I just don't believe clothes can make a man. I can't address Nongoma in Queen Elizabeth's tongue, contradict my mother's tongue, confuse my grandmother's mind. You can't be an author of my story. Mine is too ancient to be rooted in Europe. I'm sorry, I didn't master your language. I'm still trapped in my mother's tongue. She must have kissed me a lot, feed me more than she should. I'm sorry for staining your white English with my blackness. In my tongue, I can still taste my nguniness. It feels like I'm selling you cheap in black market, but you blacklisted my existence, twisted my past. My present is that shall grow, future is that final nail in this coffin. In these 12 years of slavery, grade 12 metric certificate, satisfied copy stamped. Past. Now I'm something like my master. But in Bantu education, we're eating leftovers. We are fed on street beans, so streetwise. Meandering our way to KFC counters, its finger, licking good, licking ourselves out of existence. You forcefully uprooted us into weight. Our culture being barbaric, our belief being superstitious. 12 years in the making of a perfect slave. The one that can keep himself in the leash. No wonder with the generation legacy, good in fitting our master's shoes. Our haunted tongue is dropping big English weight. I'm speaking to the bombastic speakers who don't seem to walk the talk. I think action get lost in the meaning. English have tempered with the knowledge. I'm tempted to question the good book when me and my master were fishing on the same pond. Why King James David's version of the Bible? Why Satan is painted black? Someone is shaping our plastic life. I see through our glass future. I see flaws in this life. I'm sorry, my master. I can't be a coconut, a fruit you were looking for. I can't speak English on my nose. I didn't get the goosebumps. I wouldn't speak it like I'm on high heels. Look, I'm no gatekeeper, no English security guard with unsecured brain cells. They should have looked in their mind, not to go for status quo. Now that they're subconsciously foreign in themselves, holding our mother tongue hostage, no wonder we're peeling off our skins. Of course, we have to fit in. What a disturbing picture. I call this the open book with confusing cover, walking dictionaries, giving order, keeping everyone online. We should update your status online. England have to see you still with the Commonwealth. Our master will be pleased. He's amused by his creation. We're also feeling the sense of pride, joyfully strangling our mother tongue. I'm sorry, my master. I didn't join the religion of white worshippers, the workout jackals, moonwalking their way to white lies. Freedom, the biggest lie ever told. We're told to look for rainbow in an eye of an approaching storm. Instead, we're blinded by the lightning. We didn't see even when they were handing out empty promises. They knew we emotionally unstable, evil, but they're having us voting with our heart for your entertainment pleasure, just to ease the pain of reality. Almal Farm is being shown in theaters. No wonder In Flame just to be famous. We on stage, just pause for your moment. You might get shot on screen, be like Andres Dadane. I guess this is what they call beautiful dead. But what do I know? I'm just a slave. Maybe I'm eaten by my insecurities, trying to feel better about my ignorance. But my master, I'm sorry for vomiting my pain in the comfort of your sitting table. Just imagine the burden in my chest. Take a mile on my shoes. But my master, I'm really sorry. It does. Feels like I have let you down. I'm sorry. Just accept my apologies. I'm sorry.
Well, thank you very much, Cruz, for that spirited performance. 2019, if we didn't know, is the year of Indigenous languages. And the University of KwaZulu-Natal has been doing a lot of different activities to celebrate that. And as the Center for Creative Arts Poetry Africa Festival, we also decided to include some people who have been contributing greatly to the indigenous language literary sector within our country. Our first poet for the evening is one such man. He's a very prolific author and poet who's been working mainly in isiZulu. Tembinkosi Blessing Kwabe. Please come to the stage. Welcome.
Sanibona nina bakaMalandela. Cha bazovuma yena abanye ngoba mawususezweni likaMalandela nawe uyavuma phela. Ngifisa ukuthi ngifunde izinkondlo ezimbalwa ngoba isikhathi sami sincane. Ngithe ngiyakhetha ngahluleka ukukhetha. Ngicela into engayenza kahle ekukhetheni ukukhetha unkosikazi kuphela. Kulaba abahlobene nabangabuyanga. Ngiqale ngithini nje? Ngithi akwehlanga lungehli. Kanjani ngoba ngazi kwenzekani? Lena yabavimba bangabuya noma yabavala izindlebe bangezwe ukuthi selikhululekile. Bangezwe ukuthi imizila isivulekile. Sebengabuyela emakhaya bawashiya bengafuni. Bezoqala phansi bakhe izwe nesizwe. Ngiqale ngithini nje? Ngithi lalani ngenxeba. Kanjani ngingazi ukuthi baguqa yini? Ngingazi noma basala ezinkundleni zempi, noma bazunywa izitha endleleni, noma badwengulwa bagqitshwa ukuze bangaphinde babonakale futhi kungakhonjwa namadlinza abo. Angazi impela ngizoqala ngithini. Kodwa nje kini nonke nina enazala lamaqhawe nani enihlobene nalamaqhawe ngithi nje ngibongela izwe. Ngibongela nesizukulwane ezizayo ngalomnikelokazi omkhulu. Umnikelokazi wokudela ukuphila, wokudela ubumnandi bokushelwa nokushelwa kuyolwela ukukhululeka kezwe. Ukuze izwe nesizwe kuphile. Kungasekho obandlululwayo, ebandlululwa ngebala lakhe, ebandlululwa ngenkolo yakhe, ebandlululwa ngolimi lwakhe, ebandlululwa ngamasiko akhe, ebandlululwa ngobulili bakhe. Ngithi ngiyazi kufa kuhlukanisa abantu. Ngithi ukudukelana kuhlukanisa abantu. Kepha izinkumbulo zakhe amanquluma. Amanquluma angangezintaba zokhahlamba. Ziwakha ezingqondweni ezingavumi ukukhohlwa. Ziwakha ezinhliziyweni ezingavumi ukukhohlwa. Izinkumbulo eziletha iminjunju engapholi. Iminjunju engasoze yaphela nanini. Ewaphezulu iyogwaza kabuhlungu phakathi ekujuleni kwezinhliziyo. Njengamanzi awaphezulu ezimpophomeni. eyoshaya phansi aphahlazeke kodwa angafi. Ngithi nje noma ningasoze nabakhohlwa kodwa yazini ukuthi bangamaqhawe ethu nakuba thina ngobunjalo bendawo yethu kuyohamba kuhambe sibakhohlwe noma sibathuke. Kungafani nemfula egeleza njalo, kungafani nolwandle olugubha njalo olungela kushintsha nanini. Sengidlulela kwenye inkondlo ekhuluma amaqiniso nayo. Asikabi namhlaba. Malandela wena nzala makhosi. Senza ngakhona wena nzala makhosi. Lembele qamanya amalembe ngokukhalipha. Bambatha kamancinza owancinza abukufika. Oliva kaThambo wena owaba isihlonti kumnyama. Sonke nje nisibona siqoqene lapha. Imizi lena yethu incikene ngemihlane, incikene nangamahlonjana, yingoba asinamhlaba nanamuhla. Eminyakeni engama-26 izwe lakhululeka. Abamhlophe basikela izwe lethu, begabe ngezikhali zamazwekazi abo, begale ngezikhali zabantu ababehamba nabo, noma kungabakithi abamnyama ngebala. Nanamuhla yibo abanomhlaba, ngisho odeda ngendlala bemhlaba. Eminye yawo ilele nje ayisebenzi, eminye yabo ibalinde bephesheya kwelakubo, ngoba bona bazalwa kahle banamakuba amaningi. Kuthiwa ke thina uma sifuna umhlaba kumele sifake izandla emakhukhwini, zibuye zingalambathi, kepha zisuthi, ziphethe izigidi ngezigidi zesiswenya. Ngale kwalokho kuthiwe asikhohlwe. Njengoba sikhala singashayiwe nje, njengoba sikhala amanzi njengengcuba, kungabe sizithathaphi lezo zigidi. Lokhu asinabo nonsumbulwane besinkwa. Uma isimo similubhojozi kanje, umhlaba ungakabuyeli kithi, thina abaniniwo ngokwasemandulo. Ngiyafunga impela ngiyagomela, ngifunga udadewethu uHlengiwe. Ngifunga uNonhlanhla asahamba, ngifunga uSibongile asahamba, ngifunga nodadewethu uFikelephi, ngifunga nodadewethu uNontokozo. Izwe lisafile, iAfrika ayikabuyi. Udonga lwamaqhawe. Namuhla sime ekukhanyeni, sibona izwe lethu liqhakaza, ngoba ifu lobandlululo seladlula. Ladlula neladlula nabo badlula, kwasinda ababa nenhlanhla bangadlula. Nakuba sesikukho ukukhanya, kodwa nina amaqhawe asilwela, nakhothama, asisoze sanikhohlwa nanini. Ngalokho simisa lolu udonga lwenu, udonga lwamaqhawe, la sizoqopha khona amagama enu, ukuze nasemhleni ezayo engafi. Lolu udonga siliqopha ezingqondweni zethu, ngoba asinayo nemali yokuthenga izinto zokulwakha. Uma sikhohlwa thina nezizukulwane ezizayo ziyokhohlwa. Nina amaqhawe alwa ezimpini zezwe, kuzona kubangwa umhlaba wethu, kuzona kubangwa izinkomo zethu, kuzona kubangwa nesithunzi sethu. Maqhawe alwa encome kunzima, maqhawe alwa esandlane kunzima, maqhawe alwa olundi kunzima, maqhawe aholwa ubhambatha kamancinza, maqhawe aholwa ukhongolose, maqhawe aholwa upoqo. Nifanelwe ukuhlala kulolu donga. Nanka ngiyawabona awuchibidolo amaqhawe, kukhona agqame kakhulu kunamanye, kusengathi afa kakhulu kunamanye. Kodwa ngithi mina nonke niyalingana, ingakho nginibhanqa ndawonye. Kuwena langa libalele Duba siyabonga, kuwena Phix likaseme siyabonga. Kinina nonke enangamela izinhlangano, nabeka umkhombandlela kubantu, sithi nje ukubonga kwethu akwenele. Kinina nonke enagwetshwa noMandela, kuwena Elias Motsoaledi siyabonga, kuwena Govani Mbeki, siyabonga. Kuwena Raymond Mhlaba, Andrew Mlangeni, Ahmed Katrada, Dennis Goldberg, Walter Sisulu, ukubonga kwethu akusoze kwaphela. Nakunina nonke maqhawe abulawa ngoba nje efuna intando yeningi, sithi asizozwe sanikhohlwa nanini. Kuwena Luke Smart Ngudle, siyabonga. Kuwena Suleiman Saluji, siyabonga. Kuwena Vuyisile Mini, kuwena Z Khanyinga, kuwena W Mkaba, kuwena Patrick Malowo, kuwena Amod Timol, kuwena Joseph Mdluli, kuwena Reggie Hadebe, kuwena Mhlabunzima Maphumulo, kuwena Chris Hani, nabanye engingababalanga kodwa engingabashiyanga ngoba bengabalekile, siyabonga. Kuwena Solomon Mahlangu, kuwena Mondi Motlongi, kuwena James Mange, kuwena Thandi Modise, kuwena Naftan Manana, kuwena Johnson Lubisi, kuwena Patrice Moshiko, kuwena Anthony Tsotsobe, Johannes Shabangu, kuwena David Moyise, kuwena Joe Qabi, siyabonga. Ayilena ke ikhuluma ngabakwethu endlini yakwethu kanye nami. Uma seningethwesa iminyezane, uma nithi sengilwile ngahlabana, sengifana namaqhawe amakhulu ayebamba izimpi ngezimpi ezinkulu, ojeqo njengempisi iqhawe elikhulu, unozishada ngamaqhoboza iqhawe elikhulu, undlela kaSompisi iqhawe elikhulu, uGebhuza womkhonto iqhawe elikhulu, kanye namanye engingawaqede ngoba kwelakithi ayazalwa amaqhawe futhi amaqhawe azala amaqhawe. Ngithi ke kulomshikashika wokubhala, kulomshikashika wokucubungula, umuntu ezama ukupequlula impilo yabanguni, ezama ukuhlahla indlela nempilo kaZulu, ezama ukulondoloza amagugu empilo kaZulu. Akothi uma seningethwesa iminyezana, senibala imisebenzi yengqondo yami, nibala amagemfa engawabhala nohlengwa, nibala imisinsi eqhakazile yami, nibala isihlabathi zolwandle zami, nibala amathonsi abanzi ami, nibala ubuhanguhangu bethu, nibala insika yezulu, yesizulu sakithi, nibala izibazi zomphefumulo zami, nibala nokunye okuningi engasakukhumbuli kwamina, nokunye engasakholwa nokuthi wabhalwa yimina, kanye nokuma kwami ezinkomfeni ngifunda izingcubungulo zamaphepha, nibala nemfundo yami ephakeme, nibala nokuhola kwami ezinkundleni, nanoma yini enye enhle anoyikhumbula, anokhumbula ukuthi nikhumbule ukuthi mina ngizalwa uMamngomezulu kaNgazana, nikhumbule ukuthi ngizalwa uMalandela, inkosi yamakhosi akwaZulu nakwaQwabe, nikhumbule ukuthi ngizalwa uMjabuliseni, indodana kaEnias kaNgwevu kaMxovane, nikhumbule ukuthi ngizalwa uMakhosazana esithole sakwaMngomezulu esizalwa uNgazana, umfo weSwati omude njengezintaba zokhahlamba nakuba emfushane esindwa umzimba. Ngithi nize nikhumbule engikuthweseni kwenu ukuthi ngiwumlando wokhokho bokhokho, ukuthi lolu limi ngalufunzwa wokhokho, ukuthi amasiko enginawo awokhokho, namanye engisawapequlula awokhokho. Nikhumbule ukuthi ngisuka kude ngoba umuntu akakhowe eliqhuma phansi, futhi nikhumbule ukuthi ngowasemthandeni, ngingumntwana wasemthandeni ebukhosini bakithi wamalandela, ngiyingwazi yasemthandeni ebukhosini bakithi emzini wakwavuka ubonge umuzi kaMamngomezulu. Ayike ngakhula mina obabamkhulu bethu sebebizwa ngoEnias noMidian, sebesazi isilungu. Manje fanele mangikhuluma nabo ngikhulume ngolimi lwesinguni ngibuye ngikhulume nangesilungu. Kodwa ngenzeli lokho kakhulukazi, ngenzela ukuthi Uma ngithi nina hambani notshela laba engifuna ukukhuluma nabo manje, ngizosuke nginganithembi. Ngoba umuntu ungambona kwesinye isikhathi ucabanga ukuthi ke ugcwele ubuqhawe, kanti novalo lombambile. Manje sengithi ke cha, angikhulumele mina ukuze ngikwazi ukuthi ngisho lento engifuna ukuyisho. Angazi ke noma kuyaye kubenze yini abanye ukuthi ke uma bengena ezitolo bese belokhu belandelwa sizokhuluma ngaleyo ndaba ngoba kulandelwa umuntu omnyama. Kodwa asiqale sikhulume ngabakithi abafa ngesikhathi kuthiwa baboshiwe. The black woman prisoner. On that one fateful night, those of pale color, like vultures descended on her, extinguished the glaring light, and blinded the walls of her cell. Then they did to her only what their conscience know. But in the morning, she was nude, naked, and dirty, with blood, semen, and saliva, and her gorgeous body lifeless, but her face still stubborn, glaring beyond the horizon, and her black fist still clenched. The more things change. They used to attack in broad daylight, snatch away our dignity, snatch our lives away, and scatter the bowels of our souls to the visible eyes of overfed vultures. Yes, those were turbulent times that, like acid, ravaged our flesh and cursed our color with insults. But for them, it was interesting times, filled with entertainment and total freedom to do unto blacks as they will not love it to be done unto them. Nowadays, they are scared of the sun. They try to hide under the transparent shadows, wanting to launch attacks and insults, but soon realize their freedom is now dead. So then they slither out of the shadows into the caves and tunnels of networks, social networks, and in the tails of news articles, and then spit venom to paralyze the soul of the land of Madiba by insulting and dehumanizing his people, not for their foolishness or incapacity, but merely for their skin color. Our Mandela. That is the title of the poem. Because Mandela is ours. You can't take an ancestor from another house and you think that the ancestor can just become yours. Mandela is our ancestor. But every time when elections approach, you'll hear people who once hunted Mandela, now hero worshiping him, as if he is their hero. They hunted him like an antelope, or perhaps like a serpent. Vigilant in their homes, locked, they prayed and fasted. They fasted and prayed, pleading with their God and all the gods they don't know to assist the sweating security, huffing, puffing, and sniffing to catch Mandela before it was too late. When he was snapped, undressed of his camouflage, they all ululated, huge relief, and built the monuments in their souls as a covenant with God as a reminder of his mercy to them. They then roughened him, took him to Pontius Pilatus, and unanimously called for his head, vinegar, ring of thorns, nails, cross, and spear. But when the iron ring snapped, bearing bare the scars of wrist and ankles, he left the cage. And after some few years, those that called for his head began to pontify him, calling him a saint and claiming him as theirs. Alas, these hypocrites. This is the last one. I can see some eyes piercing at me. The Black Tsotsi. It's quite interesting. If you are black, you are a Tsotsi. If you are black, you are corrupt. If you are black, you are superstitious, uncivilized. Although civilization began in Egypt and Africa. The Black Tsotsi, with his obese wallet, he entered the exclusive shop, his eyes fixed on few expensive garments that will impress for him and make that one political statement. A statement that would say he went to the rural school, walked thousands of kilometers for his education, useless as it is, and filled in thousands of forms to get a bursary and only one form to get a loan, which he got. All a long walk to academic heights and sweat and sacrifice to scale the Mount Everest of his employment slavery. Then the shop owners, with hawk eyes, pestered him like flies. Can we help you, sir? They said with a grinning smile, inherited from Judas's hug to Jesus. But out of respect and civilization, and perhaps good business practice, they never mentioned to him that he looked suspect because he was dark in color. And when he paid in cash, they silently wondered about his corrupt life, but smiled at all the cash and said, "Thanks, sir. Please call again." Thank you very much.
Skebenga, the Black Tsotsi, the sin that is the color of our skin. Very important histories there that we've been listening to. Thank you so much for that performance. I think, particularly now as we celebrate our indigenous languages and try to remember our culture and where we come from, it's very important to think about our histories. Who will remember us when we're gone? Our stories, our languages, our cultures are embedded, in the languages that we've been taught to kind of discard. And because of the systemic oppression that we've suffered and endured for decades, we have internalized self-hate of the color of our skin. And I think it's very important that we now start to change those mindsets about ourselves. So thank you very much for this amazing session that you've just had with us. His books are selling outside at the stalls, Adam Bookstores. Please support the craft. Our next, thank you. Our next poet starts where our previous poet ended, hailing from Cairo. She has just won the 2019 Brunel International African Poetry Prize and the 2019 Poets and Writers Amy Award. Please welcome to the stage, Nadia Mabruk.
you so much to Poetry Africa for bringing us together. In the name of poetry, our art will outlive us, so I think it's important we listen while we're here. I'd like to start my reading with a poem I love by a dear friend of mine, the Nigerian poet Omatara James. I'd just like to bring her brilliance with me on stage. My mother's nerves are shot, by Omatara James. A nerve is a shot. A shot is an arch. My mother is an archer. The archer breaks the dead branch dead. Dead branches rot, rot from the bark. My mother's nerves bark, shot through death. Death peels her nerves. Death is an archer. Death shoots rot, just misses her. I see her tremble. Moss greens her bark, greens where she trembles. Where there was death, fruit grows, the fruits of death. Fruits moss the branches through the blinds where she trembles still. So I'll be reading 4 poems tonight. This first one is titled Portrait of Autumn. The spine is a string of pearls, my doctor says. Lower it carefully on the table. Each pearl equally distanced, immaculate centered failure. At some point in life, you have to learn what type of runner you are, and I have learned I prefer stumbling into the bone cage of landscape, hands fanned open to the recursive. There is a kindred to healing, everyone in an ancient line, the occasional sound of twigs snapping as we move into our desired symmetry, the round-mouthed snap of silence. I am no different, trying to return to some meadow, tired of burrowing backward into a signal. My mother on the phone is upset that I still remember her sitting on the kitchen floor of her mother's apartment in Shobra, plucking feathers from the mottled bodies of geese, their insides jeweled and engorged on their own shimmering, their necks hanging over her wrists like unclasped bracelets. This one's titled, Last Night I Was a Moth's Width Running Through the Streets. I am a tired child in Cairo again, flitting between the angry drivers, and my mother is holding my hand like a fine-haired braid. Do not apologize for frailty, but you need to eat more. Your stomach is thinning. Soon you won't be able to hold anything. My insides yawn into one another, into the heat's tender and closed fist, blinking bumper to bumper, car sealants glittering saliva in their paint-stamped paths. This afternoon's route home is familiar. My legs are already splintering into halves, then quarters. I don't have the energy to keep up. I missed breakfast this morning, a thread of blood elongating inside the bowl after she broke the egg. I missed breakfast this morning, holding a stomach like a failing engine. Imagine it sputtering on the damp air that must be held inside the body, the lack of something fuller to flood. We are late. I am holding her back. The drivers' heads are throbbing with stiffening veins, more blood gelling in its slowing movement, days-old animal bones wrapped in plastic, guava at the bottoms of the drawers. I try to walk faster, my mother's voice never ending, pulled long and taut in the afternoon, a skin thinning in its stretch, exhausted of all it encompasses. This next one is titled Dear S, and it was inspired by someone who need not be named. Dear S, I never told you about the butterfly I shoved between your lips the other night. I knew it had unfurled from its cold-blooded womb not too long ago, looking to take off into its timed and staggered span, but instead, here it was, stuck in your teeth, and you were angry with me for many reasons, but mostly because when I'd done this before, the wings were more delicate, almost feathering, almost vanishing with the warm silk spun out of your tongue, but this one felt like it still had remnants of its chrysalis on it, and they felt like glass, and you tried spitting it out, but I held my palm over your face and kept it there, and you kept gagging, and I said, you need to trust me. This will soften us. I mean, look at all the light already coming out of your mouth. Thank you. This last one's titled Myth of Your Imagined Return. I told you to stop dressing as the savior, but here you are again at the side of the road, thin cotton shriveling after the stinging rains that foggy morning. You are the heaviest traveler. You unfold the cloth from your body, and mockingbird feathers fly out of your worn mouth. Cats gather around at the ends of your bitten shadow, the potential of insignificant meat, of licks of marrow. In one palm, a bloodied wing, the raw syrup of a small existence in the other, settling between the serrated map of your hand, threads of cloud hanging from your eyelashes. What else have you halved in this century? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Such vivid imagery. Being from the north, all the way there, reciting this poem, I could see and imagine bumper to bumper in Joburg, in Harare, and felt all the emotions that went with it. And of course, there is Dear S, who shall not be named. Nadra's book is on sale. Interesting title, How Things Tasted When We Were Young. Makes me very curious. I think we should buy this book. I say we should buy this book. Please, let's give her another round of applause. In light of the recent xenophobic attacks in this country against our fellow African brothers and sisters, the Center for Creative Arts decided to, in solidarity with the rest of the continent, forge partnerships with other African countries. And this year we've had Nigeria as our country of focus for Poetry Africa. And as part of the Nigerian delegation that has come to South Africa, our next poet, Bash Amuneni, is a performer whose work explores humanity's capacity for love, which is very apropos, considering the current context that we're in. So, ladies and gentlemen, would love to welcome Bash to the stage. Thank you.
Two South African languages. Someone taught me Sani Bonani. Yeah, does that make sense? I love the way you guys talk. You guys go, wow. What? Okay, I should go to the back. You guys are amazing. Yeah, seriously. So let me drop this. Okay, so we came in on Sunday, and trust me, I've been checking if the light will go off. Yeah, in Nigeria, if you keep the light for over an hour, we'll think the power authority has some issues. You guys are doing well in South Africa. Yeah, we could substitute Ramaphosa for... Okay. I'm not a comedian, I'm a poet. Yeah, a governor in Nigeria got so obsessed with Zuma, he built him a statue. Call it Zuma worship. For real. You guys didn't know? Okay, let's get serious. Don't mind me. Yeah, so I like to, yeah, I'm nervous. Yeah, so I like to calm down with something cheesy. Am I allowed to do that? Yeah, so we have so much power failures in Nigeria that you just have to have a generator. Yeah, so I have this neighbor whose generator kills me every night. My neighbor's generator kills me every night with very brutal grunts that are not good for the mind. And there are some nights I really long to sleep in peace, and I think of walking up to his little space and invade his sense of private bliss. Watch his face twitch with a little pain as I bang at his front door with the anger of my clenched fist. I think I should do that when I get back to Nigeria. But you see, I'm born again, so I like to be considered as a man of peace. So most times I'll back off into my space. I shut my windows really tight. I go down on my knees and ask God for some grace, just so I could sleep well some nights. But the grunt from this generator reaches out to me with clawing fingers like an angry imp. And sometimes it's 2 a.m. and up and asking God, how does he sleep at night? My neighbor's generator. Do you know, I pray that the generator catches a chronic flu. Yeah, I wouldn't hope that it will be fed with some adulterated fuel. You know, maybe that would help my peace. But the shrill grew into an evil grunt. And I don't know. You know, it reminds me of failed government schemes. Yeah, it reminds me of, I have a very reckless uncle. It reminds me of him. Yeah. But you see, when I get back to Nigeria, I'm going to walk up to his door. I'm going to count from 10 till 0. And with the anger of 1,000 mob, I swear by God, I'm going to ram my face through his door and negotiate a truce, just so maybe I could have one night of good sleep. Thank you. So that's the story of my neighbor's generator. You South Africans got good lights. Yeah, you should be happy. We could borrow Ramaphosa for a week. That would do us some good. Ah! No way! If it was going on. Okay, so let me just give you some, some gist about the struggles of my country. Yeah, I come from a very great country. 180 million people boxed up in a space. Yeah, we box ourselves every day. Yeah, so those days I was really angry at the government, and I was asking myself a lot of questions, and I didn't get no answers. So I wrote a poem. Please don't ask me why. Just because Y has got 2 branches and a tail doesn't make it a mutant, right? So get the scales off your mind's eyes and you will see was just a lazy lizard hanging on a tree. Please don't ask me why my country's conscience will perpetually be questioned by the splitting lines of this letter Y that sits fractionally last at the bottom of the alphabetical scale. But this gives me hope that Nigeria no go carry last like Z. Z for Zimbabwe, there are head bread sells for $1 billion Zimbabwean dollars, yeah, but please don't ask me why. Why we must not fail as a country, though it sounds dated and even stale, but sees hope anyways. Please don't ask me why I'm still this hopeful, though being ruled by a bunch of some political oops, maybe darker had than those Boko crooks, those ones up north Nigeria, hammering the nation in an anti-Western cause, albeit using pro-Western toys. But please don't ask me why empty vessels make the loudest noise. Yes, you can ask the wailing sirens of my governor's convoy on that cheap road that leads to my house. Maybe if I have a house, right? Or even a road that lists the one, but please don't ask me why. Why our only definition of a revolution as Nigerians ends on these roads and squares where Nigerian men with very shallow unction They always attempt to outwit their fellow men as if life was a race to the fore. And I wonder why we're so impatient in traffic and yet so patient with all this government mess. I wonder why we're so impatient in traffic and yet so patient with all this government mess. But please don't ask me why. Why the hunchback did drown, even with his primordial God. Because the truth is, when crude becomes God, civilization will be banished from the land and men will feast on men, even with pride. But please don't ask me why. Well, at this point, my voice pills in weakened resignation like I'm sick with mild palpitation. But a wise man once told me, son, that a word is enough for the wise and blessed, and these verses I write will choke, nonetheless. Provoke what they say is in vogue, and maybe I do not ride a Range Rover Evoque. It doesn't make me less blessed of a man, you know. Please don't ask me why. Why I believe there's always a light at the end of every tunnel. Because truth be told, we're only here for a moment. So own your life and live it. And believe this, only God can define your true what. Please now, ask me why. I still don't know. I don't know. There's a lunatic in every town. Yeah. We'll find them a lot in Nigeria. Scanning huge garbage heaps by the roadside every time. His neck will move to the left and then to the right, and eyes pinned in a constant squint and steady admiration of a treasure chest, left there to fossil for years. And this morning I saw him at it again, maybe in my imagination. At that road close to my mechanic's shack, down the old tarmac, caving in at every inch, the one that takes me to that. No way. There's a lunatic on the mic. There's a lunatic in every town. Scanning huge garbage heaps by the roadside every time. His neck will move to the left and then to the right. An eye pinned in a constant squint in steady admiration of a treasure chest, left there to fossil for years. And this morning I saw him at it again. At that junction close to my mechanic's shack. Down that old tarmac, caving in at every inch, the one that takes me to that shanty market where those unruly traders will rather chatter quick while we buy sachet water and block these public drains. The same drains we expect the government to fix then and again. I tell you, there's a lunatic in every town. You see that half-naked professor standing tall, that guy, he jumped into bed with an already engaged date and was slapped with some mean village bait by a very enraged mate, the same guy that dumped school at Form 5 after smoking some herbs and climbed trees. He blamed that action too on the pain of government's greed. I tell you, there's a lunatic in every town, honking at you, even on a lean traffic queue from behind. And the traffic light's actually red of hue. 7 times his horn will blast, and you wonder if he's blind or you're just too slow to fit into his time. There is a lunatic in every town. They hang on to power for too long. They build hospitals they never use. They travel to India just to die, and their bodies are brought back to this land that they refuse to build. Blaring sirens on the street, not giving a hoot about a baby's dream. Even this poet ranting loud in Durban. There is a lunatic in every town. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to read from my book. It's titled, There is a Lunatic in Every Town. At some point in Nigeria, they call me a lunatic poet. I think I need to write another book. I'm struggling with it. It is hard. Okay, let me give you a picture about a pedestrian bridge in Nigeria. So the poem is titled, Pedestrian Bridge. Dingy taxis squabble in frenzy. Just beneath to own that space, claim the loot. From the window, his arm is hanging loose to the left, while a drop-off just ahead yawns for lack of use. Loud chants of trips to satellite towns near, pack criers in sweat, debt, and grits. Enter with your change or lose a tooth. Article traders, merchants of cheap bras, second-hand clothes, semi-Chinatown, stolen gold, fake phones, bend down low and select your own. Beggars' clothes, father, mother, and sons clutch at toast notes from indifferent passers-by. Heady scent of urine wafts in a sailing fistdom. There my nose trees, near the Suya Crook. 4 females taste and chatter quick. Bridge leg collaged in mutilated church posters, pasted with cheap starch, pastors and matriarch pose, political portraits too, winking naughty at you, in layers of tilk pop, oppressing one another in mutilated multiple postings, like my preacher is preacher than yours. My politician is political than yours. My poster is poster than yours. And our poster is as big as our grand plans, even for that lonely bystander, hanging on by the railing bit from noon till dusk, digging his nose in wanderlust of yesterday's wish and the next day's meal. My thoughts dangle between hope and despair, a pariah's vile attempt, still stunned. I am God at an ill-positioned bridge and the many faces of this strange city. Thank you. So, yeah, I was born in the days where we didn't have apples around. Yeah. And they kept, when you get to school, they're like, A for apple, and it was like, hey, what's this thing? I don't understand. A for apple. So, yeah, I remember in the 90s, we're old. A for apple, that's the title of this poem. He trogs to school solo, sole of feet threading raw tar, Fuji garbage morning flurry, jeers his consciousness, meal of echo and ogi, settling his bowels. A red and white checkered cloak hangs on his lean and sulky frame, creased at the collar, whipping washed brown khaki shorts almost falling off his weary waist. An awkward child preoccupied with himself. A lone wanderer he is, fragile of gait, like the flaky cardboards pinned to his classroom walls, these wounded walls reverberating in chants of A for apple, B for ball. He sits detached at the classroom corner, wandering in lonely disgust, not at these sold-out praise singers, but the strangely elusive premier plume, always perky at the top of the alphabetical order. He's thinking A should have been for Africa. April 14th, 2014. There were 2 bomb blasts in a suburb called Nyanya in Nigeria, and 88 people died. Yeah. It was sad. I was driving. I heard the news on the radio. Yeah. So I wrote a poem titled Something Happened at Nyanya. There was a blast, and Dawn's facade was scarred with tears of guts and gash. Pelted flesh, smacked in disgust at shattered panes, in salute to our alien nation. Smoldering, charred stumps, chunks of our citizen species were scattered in a reckless mix of grim, smeared, blood, pain, again, and that stench, for we know that smell, like seasoned neglect. Another testament to morbid reigns of repeated legislation, slack, present, and past. So do not rain upon us the realms of your guise of faceless wars and putrid curses. Rather be still. Let your conscience sing to you a coarse lullaby of yesterday and today. But please do not forget to remember. Do not forget to remember that something happened at Nyanya. Thank you. Am I getting sad? Yeah. I heard a blast. I saw her. I saw her breast crestfallen in shameless public surrender, and Uda rudely weaned off those fabric props before prime, all shivered and dry and weary of any milk drop. I saw her. I saw her bowl plastic, empty like her gaze, flaccid. The edges are cracked wide open and upward seeking heaven's mercy. I saw a lactating infant underneath, pulling and sucking hard and long at this vacuums, I presume. I saw her essence worn and torn as she stares at me hollow in that deep midnight heat like Kano. I saw her. And I heard her soul scream out as we hit her ears with 1,000 thunders blares, blasting all at once. I saw her. But what I didn't see was our conscience place. Just our occupational best as highway kings, nesting pretty in those four wheels of comfort. Endless. And I wonder who really cares for the beggar mom, her infant, and their seasoned vacuums. These are my fears. Thank you. Okay, so before I do my last poem, it is a happy poem, hopefully. Love, I love love. Yeah, so I like to give a shout out to my very good friend, who made it possible for me to be here. If you're Paul Azino, please give him a round of applause. That is the man. Thanks, brother. Okay, so I wrote this poem for a loved one that later died. Sadly, yeah. My promise. She died. Is it the way you move your lips? Is it the way you sway those hips? Is it the fire that I see in your eyes, the rustling of leaves in wind, the warmth I feel when you're near? Is it this? Is it that? Yet I promise to give to you the coil of crusted germ with an open palm, subtly entwined, primo like virgin intentions to seal my fate in our love. To cut the sun with my toys, and it rises only from your mist. And as it sets at the foot of our graying twilight, all my life, this loyal arms will protect you. And with brick swings too, I keep these pestering fleas off your delicate skin. My promise. To watch you pour in your sleep, and I rub your back to break the vibe. I do this again with a smile and listen to the music of your soul calling dawn. This time, that time, and the next time, my promise. To hold when it is cold, to bring you the moon and share my stars, to crown your head with fidelity's crest. This place no tempest shall dare to write for you alone and unwind from the loom like thread on the loose, to stare in sweet disbelief as I attempt to cut words in worthy adulation of your chime like spicing for beauty and its peppered essence. Yes, I can feel your heat on my tongue. Thank you.
Another round of applause for Bash. My Niger brother, I can relate, I commiserate with the trying very hard to resist the urge to punch that generator. As a Zimbabwean in Harare, where we've had 19 hours daily of no electricity, that's something we can definitely relate with. And in every family we know we have the black sheep. Sometimes they know, sometimes they don't, that they are, but everybody else around them does know. But before you start pointing fingers at who could be that person, you might be the lunatic in the town. You might want to buy this book to see whether or not you are that. But please support the craft. Our last performance for this evening, definitely not the least, is by our living legend, Prof. Mongane Wali Serote, whose poems contain a strong element of political protest as he was tested to the limits of endurance in 1969 when he spent 9 months in solitary confinement. Let that sink in. 9 months. He was released without being charged, but we are very privileged to have had access to his work. And as artists, I think we believe that we can use our tool and our craft as tools for healing. And we hope that we get a lot from this performance. Thank you so much. Please help me welcome the Prof to the stage. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. I really wish to beg your indulgence, repeat what I've been saying for emphasis and for us to think about. I want to say I think there are about 50 or so million South Africans. I want to assure everybody who's here that there is no one among all of those 50 million South Africans who goes out and say, I'm going to hunt a Nigerian to kill a Nigerian, or I'm going to hunt a Zimbabwean to kill a Zimbabwean, or I want to go out and kill those people who are foreigners in our country. There is no such a thing in this country. And I do think that I have the authority to say that because we investigated and looked and searched. We didn't find that. What we found is this. There are people, both South Africans and Nigerians, or both Zimbabweans and Nigerians, or both foreigners and South Africans, who have encouraged prostitution of little girls in patches of Johannesburg, Durban, Pretoria, and so on. Their parents, communities have searched for those people. Unfortunately also, when the people report those incidences, some of the corrupt policemen in our country don't respond to those things. And therefore the matter is perpetuated on and on and on. Similarly, there are some people, South Africans and other people from the continent, who peddle drugs at schools, primary school, high school, university, and as all of us know, eventually drugs kill people. Because of this, communities hunt those people and all kinds of things happen. I'm saying this because this thing happened recently in our country, not so long ago, and I'm asking us never ever to forget that. As it happened, somebody wanted also to create a destabilization in the country. Because what did they do? They introduced fake news through this media, brought things that happened in India and said they happened here, brought things that happened elsewhere in the world where people were being banned or people being thrown over windows in windows of flats, high-rising flats, and said they were happening here. If those of us who are here stop a bit and think, we'll remember something. This thing started in a little dorpy in Johannesburg called Jeppes Town. Within a very short space of time, it has spread all over the country, almost. It can only spread if it is organized. So the question that we must ask ourselves is, who was organizing this thing? And what was the objective of organizing this thing? In other words, I'm saying all the people who live in South Africa, those who came from other countries and came here, those who live in this country, all of us have now to begin to be extremely vigilant, because we have come from a very, very, very tough background. And I'm going to read something here, a poem, which will indicate to you why I say this. We've come from a very long, long struggle very costly struggle. If you go to Pretoria to the National Memorial, the Freedom Park, and you walk along the wall where we put names, there are almost about 100,000 names now on that wall of people who paid with their lives for the freedom that we live in at the present moment. That is not cheap. Those were people's children. Those were people who made a decision that they are not only going to be vigilant, they are going to defend and protect what they believed is freedom, defined as a non-racial, non-sexist, democratic freedom. Again, I want to say this. Nobody, but nobody in this world, nobody, must tell us that we thought incorrectly when we said we are a non-racial, non-sexist, and democratic people aspiring for that. Nobody must stop us. Nobody has the right to criticize us for that. Nobody must ever question us about that. I say this because, once more I must say, many young people paid dearly with their lives so that our Constitution, the first line of our Constitution, must declare for all the world to know that we say, South Africa belongs to all who live in it, black and white, in our diversity. We cherish that, we want to live that. The other matter that I said here the other night was, nobody has the right to divide this nation between young and old. We are a nation of elderly people and young people. And us, South Africans, we want to do everything possible for the dialogue between the young of this country and the elders of this country to be vibrant and dynamic. When I say that, I'm not saying it will be an easy dialogue. It won't be. Never has been. But we have the right to demand it to be and make it dynamic, because during the day I quoted a saying from Sesotho, ba re tsela eo e tsamayang e itsewe ke ba ko pele akere. If you are walking on this road and you want to know where it is going, ask those who walked it first. You don't have to make any inventions. But equally, for as long as the elders live, their young people must teach them about that moment of living. What is it about this moment which is good, which is bad, which is challenging, which we must know? The youth would know better. And lastly, nobody, I don't care who they are, nobody must ever attempt to dislocate our country from the continent. We are part and parcel of the African continent. Nobody, we must never allow anybody to come and tell us anything about South Africa is different in this way. If it is different, that difference must contribute to the continent. I want to read, this is a very long poem. I can keep you for 2 weeks here reading it. So please, God have mercy to all of us. It's a poem that I wrote, a praise poem called Sikahlela OOR In Zulu, skahlela means different, the same word means a different thing. And isiXhosa, it means praise. In Zulu, it's, correct me if I'm wrong, it means we kick, right? Yes. So, we kick OR now. OR. Beloved OR. Luthuli, Sisulu, Kotani, JB, Nokwe, Tadu, Fisher. Masisulu, Masperepere, you, the foundation of our thought, the cradle of our being, Madiba, Masisulu, Tamara, Nyembe, Florence, Victoria, Kate. These your names are enshrined in our souls. You whisper to us through the wind and the sunshine and the rain and the glare of the moon. As you do, OR, please listen about this little girl, Phila. When they named her Phila, it was with love that they called her Phila. She lets us know now, once more, to say, Phila's name lives here in our life. Everything is here, present in us, whether her eyes were closed or not, we forget not. As she thought of the child she was leaving behind, we look away with utter pain. We fight our tears. We will wipe them and repeat. You whispered into our ear when the bullet shattered the base of your head, Phila. If we cry, let us. Let it be to agree that here we go again. Our commander, our beloved commander, beloved Phila, we salute you from where the simple word resides in us. The simple word which is so bloody. It is called freedom. To be free, Phila. You were held by men in the bush who interrogated you, who tortured you, who, as they have done in the past, distant past, made slaves kneel, bound them, shot them behind the head when they were resisting. That you resisted, Phila, remember, it is because you come from a long land chain of fighters, of commanders, of brave men and women. You were young, Phila. You are young even now as I read this, because you died young. You died when you were 28, oh commander. You joined the many, many million freedom fighters of our country, of other countries, of the world. A people who committed with their lives to stand for truth. A people who saw their blood sipped by the earth before they closed their eyes for the last time. Phila, how can we define love in such a manner? How cannot we value a love so expressed? How cannot we understand the commitment of this love to this word? Freedom. Freedom cannot be ruined. We can cry when love overwhelms us. We can cry when anger overwhelms us. We can cry when we shape every thought that we have. But when you, Phila, at your age, shaped deep in your spirit the commitment to free your people, to the point where no matter what they did to you, you refused to betray your comrades. Even as they made you kneel, even as they bound you after having tortured you. You went there knowing there is no mercy that you'll receive from them. But that you hoped that through your life, when your blood spills, the pain of being bound, and when you were pushed, forced to kneel, whipped before their lives were obliterated by a bullet or a machete, or the cruelty of the eyes which showed you no mercy. You recalled all of this and you knew that your people have lived this moment, many, many people who you know, who you don't know, who you've heard of, and you committed and said, if this be my fate, let it be. Did you hear the silence of the clouds and large sky, the singing and swaying bush, the mysterious song of the mountains and their echoes? Did you see the colorful birds of our land and hear their orchestra, the orchestra of their calls, in the early morning when life quietly yawns? Did you? As you left, just before you shut your inner eye and left, as you bade us farewell and took your last salute, O Commander. Was it in the morning when this happened? Did the breeze cool you and calm you and show you the love of the earth? Was it at noon, dear comrade sister, as the sun stood still and watched you? Phila, live. Commander, you and Obadi, your comrade, your loved ones dubbed you Phila, live forever. Reside here in our hearts and swim in our blood cells. Swim and lie here. It looks like the battle and the war will be very, very long, Phila. Commander, it is long. We hope not too long, but maybe it will be very long. Come, we can only ask that you must find Masisulu, you must find Ruth First, you must find Florence, you must find Rahina, you must find Helen Joseph, with the love of women we men so know well, which we so must cherish, which we must so protect. So these women, they can embrace and hug you and love you in your dreams. You know how we would feel if you returned to us with these emotions. Phila would so embrace you. We embrace your spirit now. We laugh, we cry, we are happy, we are sad. No one will touch us with the intention of oppression, Phila. OR, we get our guiding values from you to be among our people in that myriad manners, in their many, many tongues as they speak our people, in their diversity, in their myriad and typical kindness and love. We remember them as such. And it is this that makes us. It is this that will ever make us commit to lay our life down so that this country, this very beautiful country, this country which we so love and sometimes cannot even know how to describe its loving us and our loving it. OOR. We remember what the voices of the elders sound like. We carry the memory proud that we listened and questioned, even argued with them, and came to know. So says Phila. Let our voices carry, magnify under the sunlight of this our land, ride the opaqueness of the clouds. We recall, we remember truths no one can erase in our minds. Phila, sleep deep, sleep and rest. Sleep and see and hear us from here where we are. Commander, your voice, our voices, and the voices of the elders and ancestors of our country. Hear them, as you know, they are carried on the thin layer of the breeze. They flow and float everywhere and anywhere, these voices of our ancestors. OR, we recall, we know that poverty, as you said, be it of the flesh, of the spirit, or of thought, is the ultimate cruelty to the human race. We remember it is this which lived in the people as they were made non-humans by others' thoughts, deeds, or intentions. None of the 50 million or so inhabitants of this land, or the 1 billion of Africa, ever deserve that the sea, or the sky, or the river, or the lake is polluted. We do not deserve that. And even the billions of the world, when left at the edge of the precipice by a wealthy, powerful few, all we know that it is not well. We know this from the bottom of our hearts, that a few cannot be in control of the many. Our intentions at all times, we have defined them as the good for all. Can we say anything better than this? Can we define anything differently? Is this the ultimate that we can say and do? We believe so. We do not want to exclude anybody in the quality of life. We think all forms of life deserve the best. We think when the human race was created for no other reason but to be merciful to all of forms of other lives. We commit this. That's why we are freedom fighters. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for the performance, and thank you for the clarification. You're very right. We must be vigilant. Many young people did pay with their lives to get us to where we are today. And if we remember why the wars were fought, nobody can tell us who we are. South Africa is a part of this continent. And I think we can all agree from the performances, the lived experiences from West Africa, from the North, from the South, they all resonate. We are one people. And so it's such a great experience to have to be in a space like this where we can interact and engage with all corners of the world and acknowledge our humanity as the human race, as it was created to be merciful to all living creatures. Thank you. Can we give the Prof a round of applause again? We have come to the end of this evening. It feels like it was extremely short. I could have done with a little more. And I would love to thank the audience tonight. You have been amazing. Please give yourselves a round of applause. You've been very supportive. I'd like to thank our sponsors for the Center for Creative Arts who made the Poetry Africa Festival 2019 possible, the eThekwini Municipality, Durban Tourism, Provincial KwaZulu-Natal Departments of Arts and Culture, and the US Consulate. And of course, as the center is housed within the School of Arts at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, their support is unparalleled. Let's give them a round of applause. I'd also love to thank Elizabeth Snedden, as well as Adams Books, our partners. Speaking of books, Quiet Footsteps by Prof. You need to buy this book as soon as you leave. And don't forget to hashtag Poetry Africa 2019. Thank you so much for being here tonight. It was such a pleasant evening. We'll see you tomorrow. And for the next few days, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.